Hello there YouTube, it's your boy B3 back with another kicking action figure review. Yeah, this is kind of a review, kind of not. I want to talk about this toy though. This is a vintage Tyrannosaurus Rex that I picked up off eBay recently. It was like $4. Got him with a bunch of other prehistoric critters from an eBayer that I frequent, and I have more coming from him as well. But I got it because I saw it and it took me back. It was $4. I was like, yeah, have to have that puppy. But who made it? Who made this? The first thought is Imperial, but it's not Imperial. And then you think dor-mei? It's not dor-mei either. They would have a big DM on it. They would have copyright information on his tummy, but he doesn't really have much in the way of copyright information. You see, it says Tyrannosaurus Rex here on his bussy. Copyright 1987, but there's no letters to go with it. Made in China, and there is a CE there, but that just means that it's up to like manufacturing standards in the UK or whatever. That's all that means. So, who is this guy? And after research, doing a lot of research, and asking every group I could on Reddit and Facebook, I think the answer is it's a knockoff. Specifically, a knockoff of a dor-mei Tyrannosaurus Rex. That might be why his feet are so fucked up. Like, his feet are whack. And maybe that's because dor-mei used to put the DM on the feet, and so they had to get rid of it, so they really just kind of went hard trying to scrub his feet. And because he kind of looks like a dor-mei T-Rex, but twisted almost to kind of have a different pose, but almost the same sculpt. God, I just really remember vintage T-Rexes like this from my childhood with the heavily glued seam and like the kind of V sculpt going in, you know? It just really took me back. I have it displayed in my living room now. We really love it. It's a pretty magnificent figure. Look at those big osteoderm-like scales. And you can't really tell on camera, at least I don't think you can, but there is a lot of red down the back and on the head, and he's got this kind of red eyes, toothy maw. Pretty cool. Yeah, he's got a little more color to him than it looks like on camera, but he's really nice. So yeah, I think he is a dor-mei knockoff. Oh well. Still very cool. And I do still want to show size comparisons with him. There's no articulation to show. But let's show him with some other vintage dinosaur figures, which are also recent reviews. Actually, everything you're about to see in size comparisons, I have reviewed on this channel, so you can check those out if you'd like. So I'm going to show him with vintage stuff, newer stuff, discontinued stuff. So here he is with the museum quality Great Dinos Allosaurus from WoW Toys. I use it as a Megalosaurus. Pretty cool. So that's a vintage style figure that's still produced. And another WoW Toys museum quality Great Dinos. How about Parasaurolophus, another vintage style figure. This one actually goes great with him, I think, because these animals would have lived in the same time in the same place. Very fun. They kiss, they're pals, they're buddies. Let's move that one out of here. And how about another vintage boy? This one is actually a rare figure from Japan. It is the soft vinyl Happy Net Allosaurus. Pretty cool. This guy's from like the 2000s. So, very nice. Now how about Safari Limited? With the Safari Limited Psittacosaurus, who's discontinued. Pretty cool. Yoink. And then another Safari Limited figure, this time from their Great Dinos line, Tyrannosaurus, also discontinued. Pretty cool. Let's yoink him on out of there. And then I think we should do Papo. So here he is with the Papo Green running T-Rex. You can see how much our look for T-Rex has changed over the years. And even this is kind of an outdated look for T-Rex scientifically. Pop culture-wise, not really, but scientifically, yes. And then how about the Schleich line. First up from Schleich's Prehistoric Creatures line, we have Giganotosaurus. Pretty cool. And then from their Mystical Eldrador Creatures line, it's a more of a fantasy paleo creature with the Shadow Raptor. Also neat. And then moving on into the Jurassic franchise, we have the Mattel Hammond Collection, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Concavinator. Very nice. And last but not least, I want to show him with the kaiju, because, you know, so many kaiju were inspired by prehistoric creatures. So here he is with the Ultraman Geed Ultra Monster DX series, Thunder Killer. I actually like that, because, you know, that vintage prehistoric posture is also a very Suitmation posture, so it really works out. Awesome. So what are my final thoughts on what appears to be a knockoff dor-mei T-Rex? It's pretty cool. You can find it being sold as a dor-mei T-Rex and being sold as an Imperial T-Rex, neither of which is really correct. It's a little harder to find than you might think, but it's also maybe a little easier to find than you might think. It just depends on how you look for him. I think he's a really cool vintage piece. Definitely something amazing from my childhood. And you know, I've just really been into vintage dinosaur toys recently. Even if it's just vintage sculpt or a new toy made to look vintage in style. I really like the vintage dinos. I've been going deep on those recently. But I also have some really cool rare stuff coming. And action figure hauls are on Patreon now. So if you want to see what is coming, you can check them out there. So thank you very much. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.